What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zev War Games, bringing you another new 10 of the best. So this 10 of the best is going to be 10 of the best game changers. So cards that, when activated, 9 times out of 10 are going to change the game. Whether it be for the better or for worse. Now obviously, they will change the game. Mainly they're going to be spells and traps, but they're going to be cards that if you top deck or if you drop, just however they hit the field, they're going to change the game. Now, they'll either end up winning you the game or they'll end up losing you the game. That's all part of the fun, that's all part of the gamble, and that is why we love this game and why we play this game so much. So, without further ado, we'll crack straight into it. And we'll start off with monsters, then we'll move on to spells, then traps. So I've got an honourable mention at the end, but I've kind of stuck with cards that any deck can play. So, without further ado, go straight into, I'll zoom in so you guys can see it a bit more. So my first card up is Gamma-Seal the Sea Kaiju Turtle, or Turtle Kaiju. This card can be any Kaiju you want. Sea Turtle is obviously the one that's used the most at this moment in time. But I would advise using a Kaiju that suits your deck best. Now obviously Gamma-Seal being a level 8 is best in a Blue Eyes deck. Stuff like Spider the Sticky Kaiju or Raiden are best in a Dark Magician deck. And then the Thunder one, which is 3300 attack I believe, and a machine, can work best in any machine type deck. ABC's coming out obviously. So, Kaijus, why are they game changers? So Kaijus are game changers because if your opponent has a board like Max or Ultimate Falcon or Cosmo the Dark Destroyer, anything that gets effects when it's destroyed and sent to grave, or anything that has a big beat board that you just can't get over, or even if you top deck this, your deck is only maximum 28 and your opponent has a 3k beater on board. Dump this over their 3k, you've instantly lowered them down to 22 and then you can clear over. So Kaiju just open up the board and let you unlock if locked by monsters. Second card up is Battlefader. Now it doesn't need to be Battlefader specifically, but again, like I said in the previous video, just a card that stops OTKs. Cards that go off during battle phase. So Battlefader is really good because it stops the battle phase straight out. Stuff like Psyframe Beta, I haven't tested it myself, but it might be a nice test to put in a generic deck for the pure ability that it clears itself off of the board at the end. That's probably the downside of it. However, it does destroy the attacking monster and end the battle phase. Stuff like Speedway Menko, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, which is more of a trap. Not Scrap Iron Scarecrow, sorry. The Scarecrow card, I can't remember off the top of my head. My head's just gone dead. But yeah, those kind of cards I think are great cards that change the game. Your opponent could be pushed for OTK. I'm pretty sure it might have been Worlds. I could be really, really wrong with this. But there was a major tournament that someone dropped a Battlefader in. The opponent had Cosmos, they were pushing for an OTK, the player dropped Battlefader, and then with his next top deck draw was able to overturn the field and open up the game again. So cards like that just open up the fields again and allow the players to continue to play and lets you live another day. Now on to spells. Mystical Space Typhoon. Now I believe it was at Euros when the winner top decked MST, took out his opponent's domain and then opened up the board and went for game and won. So the reason MST's in here over stuff like Twin Twisters and all the other stuff is the pure ability to top deck it. If your back's against the wall, you don't want to discard for Twin Twisters, or you've got no card in hand and you're running a Pendulum deck and he's got domain or anything like that, you top deck an MST, clear the domain, clear a scale, set this to clear a scale to stop your opponent Pendulum summoning, set this to clear anti-spell fragrance or any trap that's locking you out. And it just provides you the ability to go again. So yeah, MST is definitely a game changer. One of my preferred cards over Twin Twisters 9 times out of 10. Next card is Raigeki. The pure ability to clear the board. So if you can clear your opponent's board and push for game or OTK with your deck, Raigeki's the one. You could be up against, your opponent could have 5 cards on board, they could all be massive beat sticks. As long as they can be destroyed by card effect, you top deck a Raigeki, you clear that board, you push for game. So which is why obviously Raigeki is a massive game changer. Now the next one is a bit of both. So Pot of Desires. It's a game changer for both good and bad. This could be a game changer for good. When you activate it, draw into the 2 cards you desperately need, activate, push, win the game. Or it could be a turn for the worst. You activate it, banish 10 cards you desperately needed, and then find yourself and draw into nothing. Draw into another pot of desires if you absolutely do. And then that pushes you to losing the game. So, again, going with top 10 game changers or 10 of the best game changing cards, Pot of Desires is definitely in there for better or for worse. Like I said, the 2 you draw off it could be gold, and it wouldn't matter what you've banished. But they could also be absolutely terrible, and the 10 you've banished are gold, and you've just lost the game. But 9 times out of 10, you look at the OCG, you look at the decks playing it now in the TCG, Pot of Desires is winning games. Whether you believe it should be in decks, whether it should be worth its price tag, whether you believe people should be running it 2, 3, 1, whatever, this card is changing games. Now on to the traps. Royal Decree. Now, Royal Decree is less likely now at this moment in time with the huge amounts of meta decks. Because stuff like Cyber Angels, Blue Eyes, they're trying to push for more turbo, lesser traps, lesser back row, and just pushing more for spell speed and just going off massively. However, Royal Decree then stops stuff. So, I mean, if you were to main this in a Pendulum deck, for say, you set this and your opponent activates anti-spell, you can then activate Royal Decree and it negates anti-spell. So it allows you to then play again. So as a nice little one tech in your side deck, if you're playing a Pendulum deck, you know the second your opponent goes into game 2, they're putting in anti-spells for you. Unless they're in a Pendulum deck themselves. Even then, if they're in a Pendulum deck, you could also tech in an anti-spell, because if you can set up your board, then activate anti-spell, you locked your opponent out, it's game over. So a little nice tech of Royal Decree will allow you to then activate Royal Decree, unlock your anti-spell, set your board up, push the game, slow your opponent down whenever you want to. So it gives you a bit more board control back. Speaking of anti-spell, might as well go to the anti-spell next. Again, it kills Pendulums dead. They can't play around this card. It slows them down, because even if they draw an MST or Twin Twister, hopefully by the time they've done that, set it and got ready to activate it, it's too late and they're a turn or 2 behind. The fact that even if it's not against Pendulums, just against general decks, because like I've said before, there are more turbo builds out there. I'm not saying every deck is turbo, but because the majority of decks out there are turbo, the ability to lock out your opponent's spells or slow your opponent down that are activating spells allows you to push for more OTKs and quick defeats and stuff like that. Next up is Skill Drain. Now, again, Skill Drain isn't seen a huge amount of time. However, the ability, when you flip this card, it changes the game. You can flip this card, people are like, what? What's going on? And then it's all about who's got the bigger beater on board. It's all then about the bigger beat stick. Now, it works like, ideally, it used to work incredibly well in Yang teams, because you can make them unaffected by traps and stuff like that. However, I have seen some people try and tech it in DDDs, maybe not be the best little tech, but as soon as you get cards on board that are 32 or 4K or however, like the new Cardian card at 5K, as soon as you drop that, the amount of cards that need to activate their effects is insane. So I have seen people run this in Shadow trains as well. Just Skill Drain hurts 99.9% of decks. Now, obviously, there are backwards around it, but then you couple this with other cards, you're then waiting for your opponent to draw into, what, 1 or 2 of their Twin Twisters? It's all about stalling them out, and Skill Drain, I think, hurts a heck of a lot. Solemn Warning, because Solemn Warning stops plays. The ability to activate this and stop your opponent's normal summon on that turn. I know it's a 2k cost, however, the ability to say, no, you cannot normal summon that, you cannot play your game this turn, and then allow you to go again. Like I said before, these cards are game changers and they put your opponent back a turn. I mean, it happened to me. I made my opponent go first, and his deck is an OTK deck. Obviously, the chances of drawing a Solemn Warning is 1 in 40, or maybe less. I might have got my maths wrong on that. But to open it in your opening hand is a 5 in 40 chance if your deck is a standard 40 card deck. To be able to set this first turn, so he set Solemn Warning first turn. He set up a small board. Now, I knew his deck had the ability for OTKs. I normal summon one monster. He activated Solemn Warning, cleared my monster out. The rest of my cards is then worthless, and he then pushed for game. So Solemn Warning is definitely a game changer. And then last in the 10 of the best is Vanity's Emptiness. Again, Vanity's Emptiness is a game changer. The ability to lock out your opponent from special summoning is insane. If your opponent normal summons normal summons and you warn in it, and then attempts to special summon, you can chain Vanities and it locks them out again, and then they have to wait to be able to send one of your cards to the graveyard or MST and pop Vanities. So yeah, that's the 10 there. I will do a quick honourable mention for the last one, which is Cyber Dragon Infinity. Now, Cyber Dragon Infinity, I had to try and put the rule that these cards can be played in any deck if you really wanted to. You could put Skill Drain in any deck. You could put it in Blue Eyes if you wanted to. You could put it in Dark Magicians. You could put it in Metaphors, whatever. But obviously your effects are going to get negated, so you just want to have a huge beat stick board. Whereas Infinity is only really able to be played in generic machine monsters or machine decks at the moment, or any deck that can play light cards. So they can play Galaxy Soldier to discard and make into Infinity, which is obviously the way that ABCs are going to be doing it when they come out this week or next week. Because the second they come out, they can use Galaxy Soldiers, transmodify, and their whole deck is light. So they can abuse Cyber Dragon Infinity. However, that's only one deck. Whereas with the 10 here, these can be put in any deck, any side deck. They can be stapled, they can be mained, any deck around. And like I said before, even Anti-Spell Fragrance can be used in a Pendulum deck if you really want to. I mean, just imagine your opponent's face if you're a Pendulum deck and they're a Pendulum deck and you drop Anti-Spell on them. They're just going to be like, what? What the heck just happened? You stop them for a turn. If you've already set your board up, you're fine. And then if you have an MST, you can clear it yourself. So yeah, these are the 10 cards that I believe are 10 of the best game changers in Yu-Gi-Oh! At this moment in time. Whether they're main-sided, however, when they're played, they change the game for the best on their own. They don't need other cards to go with them. They do it all on themselves. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Keep an eye out because I will have openings of the new ABC and Magnet deck, and we will also be doing a giveaway for those and loads of deck profiles because there are so many different ways to play ABCs. You've got the rank 4 deck, you've got the rank 5 engine, and I'm pretty sure, knowing Joe, he'll find a way to make a different variant. I know he's already tried to send me over a Cyber Dragon variant, so there is a huge amount of possibilities for an ABC deck, and I'm going to try and get as many variants out to you as possible because it might suit different playstyles. So, let me know what you think of the 10 of the best. Again, none of these are set in stone. These are all opinionated, so you can chop and change and say, look, I think Skill Drain isn't that good, so we'll put something else in. Or I think Battlefade's not good, put something else in. You can even say Infinity's in there. And like I said before, these are the generic ones that can be played in any deck. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And as always, guys, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner. So thanks for watching this video. We hope you can join us some more. And as always, happy dueling, guys.